Bro, you know you're making yourself worse, right? You know that some of the things you're doing are actually hurting you more than they're helping you. I know you want to play at a certain level. I know you want to get all those offers. I know you want to score all those touchdowns because scoring a touchdown is the greatest feeling in the world. I know you want to feel that over and over and over. I know how it feels. In this video, I'm going to bring to light what the things are that are holding you back from playing on that field. The things that are holding you back from you not being at your highest potential on that field. Okay? It is my job to make you a better football player. So whenever you finish this video, I want you to comment and let me know how I made you a better football player, okay? But getting straight into it. The number one reason why you aren't playing at the level you want to play at is because you don't want to. You don't want to be great at football. Maybe you're like, what does that even mean? Of course I want to be great at football. And that's true. That could be your situation. It was my situation as well. But you could be having other beliefs. Like, for example, say whenever I'm off the field, I'm like, man, I want to score touchdowns. Man, I want to be the greatest, best receiver on the field. Man, I want to be the starter. Man, I want to score 5 touchdowns this game. Okay. That's your thoughts. But then whenever you're in the game, there's 2 types of like bad beliefs: limiting beliefs and challenging beliefs. In the game, whenever somebody's lining up in front of you, you could be getting challenging beliefs and be like, man, I don't, like it could be anything. Man, I don't feel so good. Man, I'm not moving as fast today. Today's just not my day. I want to score those touchdowns, but right now I don't really feel like it. Those little challenging beliefs that say, yeah, you want it, but you don't want it right now, that can be harming you, your skill level and your results on the field. And not even your results on the field, but also in life and with other things. So you gotta correct those thoughts, and you gotta really ingrain in yourself that you want this right here, right now. You're willing to do whatever it takes. You're willing to go the extra mile, okay? You gotta ingrain it in yourself. You gotta tell yourself over and over, and then you gotta put into actions like the person that thinks like that operates like that would. So going to practice, next time you're in practice, you're going hard, you're not taking a play off. Only time you're taking off is whenever you're on the sideline. If you're on that field, man, you're pushing yourself. Okay, you have that mentality to where, like, I'm gonna be the one embarrassing you. I'm gonna annihilate you. Okay, and there's nothing you can do about it. You gotta have that mindset. You got to. If that's something that's a problem for you, then the steps you got to take is become aware of it, and you'll find a complete opposite of what that limiting or challenging belief is, and find what actually it is that you want your life to be, that you want your situation to be. You got to flip it around into the inverse. So say, today is my day. Today I am the fastest on the field, and feel that way, okay? And believe that you are that person, okay? The second reason why you could be not at the level that you want to play is that maybe throughout the day you're stimulating yourself too much. What I mean by that is you're listening to too much music. You get distracted. Maybe you're on your phone all day. You're scrolling. You're watching so much videos, and you're looking at the screen too much. Or maybe it has nothing to do with the screen. Maybe you're one of those people that whenever you're in a public setting, you look around. Like, anybody that walks in the door, you go look. Somebody's walking around, somebody made a loud noise, you go look. And this is one thing I learned, because I used to like do some weird things like that. And I know this has nothing to do with football, but like, it really drains your energy if you're always looking around everywhere. Bro, if that's not something you do, I want you to test it out and like look around everywhere, wherever you go. Like, look at all the cars passing by. Like, that drains your energy. Okay, so do not do that. Only reason I said to do that is if like you've never done that before, you don't know what it's like, and like maybe like for like a couple minutes a day, like 5 minutes straight, you're just doing that, bro. That drains your energy. And that's what I mean by stimulating yourself. So control your attention. You need a better attention span. The average attention span of a human is worse than a goldfish now. We need to be able to look at what we're looking at and hold that attention. A lot of people say your most valuable asset is time, not money, but it's really what you use that time for, and that's your attention. So put your attention on the right things, okay? So if you're in school, even if this has nothing to do with football, okay? You're in school, you're putting your attention towards what you're doing. You are where your feet are, okay? You're in that present moment. And then whenever you're watching film, that's where your attention is going. Okay? You're not stimulating yourself. You're not like distracting yourself. You put your attention on the right things. Okay? And not scrolling on TikTok, not scrolling on Instagram, not looking at all these flashy edits, because all these are frying your brain. Okay? So maybe read a book once in a while. Okay? Reading books helps you, and you learn more, and it feels good once you complete a book. So read a book. Sit in silence. Whenever you do your chores, sit in silence. And I know this video is about why you're not playing at the level you want, but everything you do outside of football helps you in football. It does. It can help you, but it can harm you, and it correlates. Okay? And it saved what I'm trying to get at is whenever you stimulate yourself too much, you waste a lot of energy. So you don't have too much energy, and you lessen your focus whenever you hop on that football field. Okay? I know that was a weird one, but let's get into the third one. Third one is kind of stems off of stimulating yourself too much, and that's training mindlessly. Talked about this multiple times, but it's where you just look at what other people are doing, the weird drills, the cool looking drills for social media, or maybe like somebody that doesn't even know how to train for football told you to do this workout, told you to bench, told you to squat, and that you'll become a better football player from that. It's training. That's training mindlessly. Okay, and that's the name of this third one. It's training mindlessly. The problem with this is you think you're getting better at football by maybe just benching, but maybe just squatting because your dad told you something about it, but he didn't really go anywhere in football. He's not really somebody you would look up to when it comes to getting better at football. So the solution for this is I want you to find the people that are actually good at football and that put the work in to be good at football, and see what they did. Okay? See what they do with their bodies. And chances are they probably play more sports. So they're not just football players. They play other sports. They're track athletes. They're football athletes. They play baseball. They play other sports. They play soccer. They do athletic things with their body like on a normal day-to-day basis. And so doing like the footwork drills that you see on Instagram, YouTube, yeah, they can help. They can help for sure. But when we're talking about being an athlete, we got to be able to move. So let's play other sports. Let's be kids. Okay, let's have fun in these sports. Fourth reason why you might not be playing at the level you want is that you're not a student of life. You don't go through life being humble and understanding that you don't know enough. I don't care what age you are. Warren Buffett, a super rich dude, he's like a billionaire, and he's like 90 something years old. He reads 500 pages a day. He reads 500 pages a day. And because he's humble enough to know that he doesn't know enough, that he wants to learn more. And so this man is a billionaire. You're a young football player. Or why aren't you humble enough to read a book? Why aren't you humble enough to go see mentors and go meet people that can help you and really just try to learn something from everybody you meet? If he's not done reading at 90 years old after he's become a billionaire, what's stopping you? Like, why aren't you reading? Why aren't you learning something every day? That Warren Buffett, he said, if he could have any superpower in this world, it would be to learn as fast as possible, to have super learning in his brain, because knowledge leads into a whole lot of stuff. And bringing this into football is watching film and seeing other perspectives, of seeing the perspectives from your coaches, seeing what they have to say. And sometimes coaches can be prideful. I get that. But we got to understand that they are older than us. They know more than us, and they're in an authority position, and they are trying to teach us. So we got to learn, we got to understand, and we got to be humble enough to see what they are telling us and learn from it. Even if it's something that like, it's like, because coach, I know how politics work in the sports world. I know how like coaches can play favorites and all of that. I've seen it. I know it. I've seen it before. We got to understand, like, we need to learn more. We need to learn more. Why am I moving like this on that field? Why am I not running the way I want to run? Why am I not fast enough? Why am I not quick enough? And we got to look at all of these things. And we got to be humble enough to say that we're not perfect, but we're willing to learn. And this isn't just a habit you can do with football. This is a habit that translates from football to life, okay? Because you don't have this life, which is just life, and then you wake up the next day and then all you do is football and that's your life. Like, no, football is part of life. Life is part of football. It's one, okay? Things translate. Okay, so this is, I know this channel is about football, but like, we can't separate football from life. We can't. And so watch film and ask questions about every single detail. Not every single detail, but ask questions about noticeable details. Be humble enough to maybe take courses and to learn something new about football. Learn the coverages, learn the tendencies of the defense, okay? Be humble enough to learn all that. The fifth reason why you may not be playing at the level that you want to play is that you have a hard time doing the same thing over and over and over. I'm about to put a drill up on the screen, but I couldn't tell you how many times I've done this drill. And the reason I've done this drill is because it works. But it didn't work after the first week. It didn't work at the second week. I didn't see progress after the first month, the progress that I wanted. But as I kept doing it, kept doing it before each and every season, I would see progress and I would get better each and every year that I did it. Okay? And so you got to be able to do the same thing over and over. Right now, I've been going through like a little hamstring injury then as I'm coming back from my ACL, and my knee is starting to feel a little weird. And I'm working out with a dude in the NFL, and he's telling me, bro, if the work is boring, then it's good work. Like I told him I appreciate him for telling me that because I've experienced that whenever I was going to my freshman year of college, where I was doing the same. I was just practicing my releases and my routes. Nothing, no footwork drills. The only thing I was doing like a couple months before going into training camp was practicing my releases and my routes, because I knew that was going to get me the starting job. I knew that was going to give me playing time if I mastered those. And a couple weeks, like 3 weeks after I did the same like releases, routes every single day that I was hitting the field, bro, I got so bored and I felt like I got burnt out. So I took a little break. But whenever I took a little break and I came back, I noticed that my releases were way better. I noticed that my footwork was way better, okay? So you got to be able to do the same thing over and over. And whenever it gets boring, that's when you know that progress is coming. Progress is happening, okay? You're about to see great progress whenever it gets boring, okay? And I learned that then, and then my boy in the NFL, he just told me that now, okay? He just reminded me of that, and I'm grateful for that, okay? So be able to do the same things over and over. If you get bored of it and then you stop completely and then you never do it again, it's okay. It's different from stopping and taking a break. If you just stop and never do it again because it's boring, because you don't like it, because it's not fun, then like that's why you can't play at the level that you want to play. That's why you can't score all these touchdowns. That's why you can't be the starter, okay? List goes on, okay? You got to be able to do the same thing over and over. You got to be consistent, and that's what consistency and discipline is. Being able to do the same thing over and over, okay? And the sixth reason why you may not be playing at the level that you want to play is maybe you don't know how to deal with adversity. And what I mean by this is somebody says something to you, like your coach says something to you like, man, you were slow on this route. Or maybe you just had a terrible rep. You were slow on the route and then the QB threw it to you and then you dropped it. Receiver or not, maybe the corner, you're a corner and then the receiver blew past you. Then the coach was roasting you about maybe you look slow, whatever the situation is. And then they tell you that, and then it makes you down for the rest of the day. That's a sign of weakness. That's a sign of weakness, that whenever somebody says something to you that you don't want to hear, that it ruins your day, that means you don't know how to take adversity. And all these players in the NFL, all these players in the NBA, these high-level athletes in the big leagues making big money, they know how to deal with adversity. And some of them are better than others. Some of them respond on Twitter and all of that. But they have to deal with people saying things about that all the time. So if that's where you want to go, you got to be able to deal with people are saying stupid things, people that are saying stuff that That's like, they don't know the full story. And the truth is, like, if you're listening to like reporters or like maybe people at your school talking about how bad you played or whatnot, they don't know the full story. Why don't they come and hop in your position, and let's see how they play. Let's see how they do it. Okay? Let's see. And so like whenever you like that, you start to think like that. And so whenever, even, and if it's your teammate saying that, tell him to hop in that situation and see how good he can take that situation. Okay? So we got to learn how to take adversity and really not take things too serious. Okay? Because there's more to life than football. I'm sure you have other interests in football, and that's a solution to if you don't know how to deal with adversity. That's something you can do. Put your attention towards other habits outside of football. You like fishing, go fishing. And then like you're focusing on fishing. You're not focusing on what your coach said about you in the film room, what your coach said about you on the field. All you're doing is focusing on fishing. You're focusing in that moment. Or maybe you're playing basketball and you're just in a flow state playing basketball. Have other interests. And then maybe like whenever you're in the moment of a coach saying you did something bad, a coach nagging on you, roasting you, whatever it is, or your teammate, all that, maybe whenever you're in the moment, bro, it's easier said than done. But you don't got to take everything so personally. You can just look at him, laugh, and then walk away. You just got to know to not let somebody else control your life. And that's why I have the shirt, create your narrative. Go check it. Go get you a shirt. Okay, I live by that, and I try to live by that, more by that every single day. Is create your narrative. Don't let other people create the narratives for you. Don't let the coach say you're slow, and then for the rest of the season you keep on getting slower. You run slower routes. Okay, you're slower on the field. You're not as quick. You're not as aggressive. Don't let other people create it for you. You get clear on what your narrative is, what you want your narrative to be, and you tell yourself that every single day over and over and over, and you become obsessed with it. Okay? And so now that you know all these things that could be holding you back, here is a video about the secrets that can make you a star player.